from his studios in New York, it's time for Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life. Here's your host, Dan Tortora.
Welcome here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on WakeUpCallDT.com, your one-stop sports shop, and on MixLR.com/WakeUpCallDT. Good morning, everybody. If you hate Mondays, why hate a Monday? What? Well, Dan, it's the end of the week. It doesn't matter. God woke you up today. Every day that God wakes you up is a good day. It's a time to make positive change. It's a time to do right by yourself and right in this world. So I personally love me some Monday. So I hope you're having yourselves a great Monday, and I hope you woke up and said you were thankful for it today. With that being said, it is our 200th show. 200th show of 2018, folks, which is insane, uncanny, can't believe it. Number 200 of 2018, not 200 overall. This is 200 of just this year. We do over 200 shows a year, not including live on-site broadcasts. You put it all together, and Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora has brought you over 1,000 shows easily over the last 15 years of me being a broadcaster. We have done some crazy amount. If you go on to wakeupcalldt.podbean.com and get every show that we have up there, it dates back to July of 2012. And that right now has over 1,070 shows that you can now listen to at your leisure, wherever you are and whatever you're doing. So thank you to everybody that supported us here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. I greatly appreciate it. And thank you for being here this morning for number 200. We got a lot coming up. We have our Monday morning quarterback. You know who he is. That is Marvin Graves. I took the moniker Monday morning quarterback and turned it into something real, as we have a former Syracuse quarterback that'll be on the show to speak with us on the 7-2 Orange, Marvin Graves, in just a little bit. And then in the second hour of the show, my good friend, great buddy, brother to me, sports writer and an amazing journalist in general, amazing broadcaster, Ross Turetsky, will be joining me in the second hour of the show, and we'll have some special people coming on throughout the broadcast to celebrate number 200 with me. The first one being Pops, my dad. So, Dad, how are we doing today?
We're doing okay, Dan. How are you?
I'm doing well. So it's number 200 of just this year, and it's crazy. When I told people it was 200, they're like, wow, congratulations. I'm like, yeah, it's 200 of 2018. So just what you can say about, I'm kind of going to leave it open-ended. I don't want to load any questions, but, you've seen me come through this. You saw me create this company, and you saw me start broadcasting 15 years ago. So I guess I'll leave it open to you as we celebrate number 200.
Well, you started broadcasting 15 years ago, but you've been getting yourself ready for this all your life. So I'm not surprised that you're on your 200th show for the year, and that you've got over 1,000 shows already in the book. It's pretty amazing.
And I appreciate that, and we've had so many different people here on the show. We've told so many different stories, and across the country, across the world. I don't know if you know this, Dad, because I think we talked about it, but the Caracaos, which are our family in Spain, actually listen every single week. And they watch the live video from Spain 5 or 6 hours ahead of time. They watch the video every Friday and watch me live in studio. So that to me is crazy to know that there's people in other countries and other cities and other states, but to know that our family that met your mom, my grandmother, is now watching the show today is pretty cool.
Pretty cool. Yes, it is.
So what are your thoughts? And did you see this when I was a kid? Because you and Mom used to sit at the table, and I would spew off stats and remember stuff and talk about stuff and watch SportsCenter 10 times a day. Did you envision this, or is it something that you didn't know was going to happen? What was that like?
No, this was definitely your destiny. You could see it coming. This is what you wanted to do when you were little. And this is what you're good at, so just continue doing it.
Coming from my dad. Any other words? I know that I'm a man of more words than you typically. Any other things you want to share?
Yes, I am. I am a man of few words, unless I'm in a courtroom, and then I usually say too much. But no, I think this is, I still have to educate myself on exactly how this all works, and I'm amazed that you can keep it going, keep it funded, keep yourself above water. It's incredible.
That coming from my dad here this morning as we celebrate number 200 of 2018. Dad, I appreciate it as always. I love you, and it's good to it's just good to have you in my life, and I appreciate the fact that that you're behind what I do, because not every kid has that, and not every kid has a relationship with their dad. So thank you for that.
You're welcome, bud.
Yeah, I'll talk to you soon. I love you.
Okay, take care.
Take care.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
See you. So that coming from my dad this morning, the man of much fewer words than me, much fewer words than me, but good words and good stuff. So I appreciate my dad. See, for me, I always think in my head that because I'm on a microphone and I'm so used to being on a microphone that I can hand the microphone to anybody. Be like, here you go, you're on the mic. But it's not as easy as it's all cracked up to be. I'm just used to it, and I love it. And I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, it's easy for me and this and that. I don't talk in ego-centric ways. I just love it. When I come into my studio and I look at my beautiful, wonderful microphone that I love so very much, and because it's really cool and interesting, and to me maybe it's the best one I've ever had. It definitely looks the part. It's the prettiest one I've ever had. And I, when I come into the studio and I sit down and I know that I get to talk to you, I have to stop myself from crying every single day, and not in a bad way by any stretch of the imagination. I just really love what I do, and I'm just so appreciative of what I do. And we got a message here from one of our supporters here. Let's see what we got here. So Johnny said, every weekend I build myself up. I put on my Lions gear. I get all pumped up pregame. I'm whooping and hollering and bouncing around the house, ready to go, and then I get beat down, let down, angry, sad. So, Johnny, we're celebrating show number 200. We can't talk about depression this morning. No depression. I'm writing back to you on the live feed. No depression. Take it out of here. So you can't have that. No depression allowed. No, don't like it. So, I understand the Jaguars couldn't lose this week because they didn't play. So that's awesome. The bye week didn't even beat them. So that's good. It's a good thing to say. We'll see if the bye week defeated them or not when they play this upcoming week. But as of right now, the bye week is hopefully doing them some good to get friggin' healthy, because this team has not been healthy for a long time. So, again, doing what I do and loving what I do and having a great time doing this thing and appreciating the world that I get to live in has just been tremendous. And it's been a great time, and it goes such a long way. I was on a microphone in Scranton, Pennsylvania. I remember being in the high booth. The ESPN radio there was in the high booth. So I stepped up, and I'm, sitting up there, and I had a little window, and I could look at everybody down the hallway and, doing that show. And then moving forward and coming back here and being on the old ESPN 1260 and having a board that wasn't even meant to actually be an on-air board that had these little tiny knobs, and there was like 170 of them. Okay, it was like ridiculous to try and I was like, how do I go on the air again? But once you know one board, the crazy thing about it is you kind of know them all. It's kind of like if I was a pilot and you put me on a different plane and there was an emergency and it's like, Dan, we need you to fly this thing, that I could figure it out. It's kind of how it is. Like if you know one set, then you can learn the other set, so to speak. And that's really what it came down to for me, is just going to different places with different boards and realizing that there's a lot of similar things that are on each of them, and just putting it together. So then I went from there and went down to Orlando, fought like heck to get to Orlando, and went on ESPN 1080 The Team, which is now, I think, CBS down there, CBS Radio. And, that's where I met my producer, Nick Cicero, and that's where I built my friendship with Nick Cicero. And he is the voice that you hear in the Wake Up Call introduction. So, that was a huge piece of my life. It's what connected me to the Magic. It connected me to the NBA, to the Tampa Bay Rays, and one of my best friends, Duke Knutson, one of the best people that I know. And then from there, it put me in a situation where I got to connect with the Dolphins and the Bucks and do a lot of different things, and ultimately connect with UCF a long time ago when they were in the Conference USA. And everybody knows I cover them now with the American Athletic, which is kind of funny how that spun around. I got to cover the UFL's Florida Tuskers, and one of my closest best friends, Jason Lucas, who has been on the show before, him and I got to know each other through me being down there and doing this. And because of sports and then building our relationship, his two daughters are considered my nieces. And so I have two wonderful nieces that live down in Florida, Carly and Gracie. And then we move on from there. The Fantasy Football League started down there in Florida, I think 9 years ago, and I still am connected to all of them. I went down and drafted with them all this year, and we all got together, and it was one big happy family. I mean, it was just a really it was a moment that reminded me who the heck I was, and it was great. And I love them all. I met Mike Sofka through it, so without doing radio and going down to Orlando, we would have never had the Fantasy Football Power Hour with Mike. And then you move forward from there, and as you move forward from there, you get to connect back up to Syracuse and the Score 1260 and everything I did with the Score 1260. So it's just absolutely crazy and amazing. And with that being said, we have another special guest that is here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, and that is none other than my mother. So she is on the broadcast right now. We're celebrating number 200 of 2018. So it's not 200 overall. It's not 200 over 2 years. It's number 200 of just this year. We do over 200 a year on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time, and we keep going from there. So, hello, Mother. How are you?
Good morning, Dan. How are you?
I'm doing well. So, just telling everybody kind of the road to how I got here and everything that I did from Marywood University to 3 ESPN networks and then Yahoo with the Score 1260 and then ultimately starting my company. So, I'm going to leave it open-ended. Just what you can say about, what you've seen or my road to get here and where we are today.
Well, the road has always been, it's been a very good one. Very proud of you as my son in 200 shows in 2018. You always strive to be what you wanted to be from when you're about 13 years old is what I can remember. Always out there with the cards and going for what you wanted. And of course, you ended up where you are today and doing an amazing job at what you do. And again, very proud of you, Dan. I just know that you always wanted to go into sports, added on different aspects of life. The shows have always been interesting. I laugh, I cry, ups and downs, but you always have a way to bring it all together. Super job, honey. Super job.
And I appreciate that. And I never forget something that you said to me when I was down working in Florida. And yeah, my mom used to listen online every day, every week that I was in Florida. And there was something you said to me. You said, I don't watch sports. I don't listen typically. But, I mean, obviously my mom watches like Syracuse basketball and football. But you were saying, I don't usually watch it. And, I definitely don't listen. But when I listen to your show, it sounds like these people that you're interviewing for the first time are your friends. It just sounds like so.
I remember that because I remember you were on the ESPN show, and I was watching it as usual. And to me, it always seems like you have a personal relationship with every person you talk to. It's admirable, along with all the coaches you get to talk to all the time from all over the place. And I remember I also said to you, just make sure when you tell those guys you're taking them out to dinner, it's going to cost you a lot of money on those steak dinners. So, because they eat more than one steak. But yeah, I do remember that. I remember it like it was yesterday. Yep.
And, to have that, you have always had the ability to, talk to anybody in any room, anywhere. and it's something that I carry with me as a Medal of Honor. And just to speak to that, how you and I are not the wallflowers, so to speak.
I think I always told you, when you walk into the room, whether you feel good or not, you own it. You own that room. And that's how I go through my life. I know that's how you go through yours. And that's what I kind of brought to you. You got this. You got this.
And to have this opportunity and this job, it's something that, like you said, when I was a little kid, I had a dream of wanting to, be able to do something like this, and was faced with a crossroads after working at, I think it was 5 different radio stations, because I also worked for a local one in Leesburg, Florida, WLBE 790, and so to do all of that, and I worked on Channel 9 in the background and worked at Disney, and I just ultimately, I wanted to do something on my own, and I always tell people that I built it out of thin air, that I just took the air that was in front of my face, and I grabbed it, and I just kind of molded it and worked with it and tried to turn it into something. And it's really the easiest way that I could describe it, is I just hit a crossroads one day and said, my bosses aren't moral, they don't have the values I have, I believe in God, I want to be able to provide for myself, I want to tell it my way, and I know that I have to do this. And I always say that if God ever gives me 3 paved roads in front of me and then there's a giant rainforest in the corner, he wants me to go through the rainforest. And whether I want to or not, he always ends up sending me through the rainforest. So, just what you could say about that road, because building your own company is you kind of just learn as you go, but it's something that I don't know how to describe it, Mom. I no matter how afraid I should be, I just do it anyways.
Well, I think I still sit in awe at what you do, how long you do things, the way you pursue and you get through your life and your job. And the reason I do believe you do the job as well as you do is because you love what you do. And as long as you love what you do, you'll always do well at it. So whatever path he gives you, whatever path you take, you seem to be able to do that. And again, sometimes I just shake my head and say, I'm not knowing how he's doing it. But you put it out there, you knew what you wanted to do. I know I told you from the get-go, whatever you want to do, follow your heart, buddy, and do it. And that's how I think you've always thought of it. But I do believe the reason why you do as well as you do is because you love what you do. And you love talking to the people you talk to. You love dealing with all kinds of people all over the place, all over the world. As it is, you have people listening to you from Spain, and it's admirable that you took what you wanted and you just went for it. And it's not, it doesn't really take any energy at all. You just do it because you love it.
Yeah, speaking here with Mom this morning on number 200 of 2018, and I learned from the best, and I learned from a fighter, and I learned from somebody who doesn't give up and has always made me who I am. And I'm going to attempt not to cry right now, but if G Mama was here, what do you think she would say?
She would say, blank on him, Daniel, and go for it.
She would say, piss on him.
I think she would tell you, I love you a bushel, a peck, and a squeeze around the neck. Always and forever. She was the one you knew at the end. She still smiled and sang with you right to the end. And you were the only one that happened. So right now I know she's watching out for you. She's got those wings. She's hanging out, Dan.
I know, and she would always say, and I know this is a family show, but I got to quote my grandmother. She would say, piss on them. And if that doesn't work, tell them to go take a shit for themselves, is what she would say.
Yeah, she would. Yeah, she got away with that, though, because of her age.
Yeah, she looked at you one time when I think we were at the zoo or something. She said, how old am I, Debbie? And you said 91. She said, good. Well, then I've lived long enough to say whatever the hell I want.
Yep, that's what she said.
But she always said whatever she wanted.
Yeah, she did. She did. I have a feeling I'm taking right on that same path, so but I'm a lot younger than she was, so I gotta be careful now, I guess. Yeah,
I said as you get older, I'm nervous because of how open you are with everything that you say now. I'm like, I'm gonna have that mom where I'm gonna walk into Wegmans and go, hey, listen, everybody, she has Tourette's. I don't know how to. I don't know what to tell you.
She's having a moment. She's having a moment.
She's having a moment.
So, that's all good. It's all good, dude.
So I hope you live to be 150. And,
yeah, me too.
And
just
healthy.
Make sure you, what?
I was going to say healthy all the way through, but I also look forward to the day that I get to put you in one of those big girl carts where, just as a joke, where I could put you in like the grandma cart, and they lock you in, and like you're in a high chair, so to speak, and then they put the basket in front of you. That'd be funny.
That'll be funny. Yep.
Because you'd be going through the whole thing going, Daniel, get me out of here. Well, just like when I brought you to Disney.
We won't talk about this on the air. Yeah, you did do it to Disney.
Yeah.
We won't even talk about that situation.
When I brought my mom to Disney and I put her in a wheelchair, it was fun.
Yeah. All right. Well, congrats on your 200th show for 2018, and many, many, many more.
Thank you. And I love you, Mom.
You're welcome. I love you too, honey. Have a great day.
All right, you too.
All righty.
See you.
Bye now.
See you. Coming from my mother. So thank you, Mom, for that. That was awesome. So Mom and Dad on the show this morning for 200 of 2018. I love my parents, and, I've learned a lot from the both of them. And my dad almost made me cry. My mom always makes me cry. Happy tears, though. Like she always gets. I'm trying so hard this, but I'm like, oh, my God. So I'm just going to go to a fast break and be like, and then come back and be like, hey, guys, what's up? So I love being here. And, my voice is back, folks. That sultry is back. So I'm so happy that my voice has come back. Can't nobody hold me down. So can't wait. Hold on. We have to, one of my favorite songs of all time, Can't Nobody Take My Pride and Can't Nobody Hold Me Down, is how I feel about my life overall and definitely in general. So I think it's only fair to play this for you today, and since it comes from two of my faves of all time, so let's get to that part. Let's get to that right now. Let's see here.
Can't nobody take my pride. Can't nobody hold me down. Oh no, I got to keep on moving.
I love it. Love it. Can't nobody take my pride and can't nobody hold me down. We're taking a fast break. We'll be back with Marvin Graves in a minute.
This is a wake-up call fast break.
This is Jimmer Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Road in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. He kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily. We bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand bread our chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have in any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
I'm George Townsend of Honda City with some good advice when buying a new car. The true cost of owning a new car is determined by the appraised value when you trade it. No vehicle appraises higher than a Honda. Next, look for low APRs and deep discounts. You also want low maintenance costs and great fuel economy. That's why my advice to you is to buy a new Honda. Looking pre-owned, visit our Honda Certified Used Car Center. Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard, Liverpool, or HondaCity-CNY.com.
It would be a pity if you don't shop at Honda City. For all of us that have always wanted our favorite restaurant to come to us, it's now a reality in Central New York with It's a Utica Thing, with Utica Pizza Company bringing their wonderful recipes that they've handed down through generations to you, to your event, to your business, to your home. It's a Utica Thing, proudly bringing Utica Pizza Company on wheels to your location. Call 315-738-8946. That's 315-738-8946 to bring Utica Pizza Company to your doorstep with It's a Utica Thing.
Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on WakeUpCallDT.com, your one-stop sports shop, and on MixLR.com/WakeUpCall. DT, always an honor and a privilege to be on the broadcast with you, hanging out here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. And I hope that the weekend treated you well, and hopefully you started off your week the right way and did right by yourself. And if you're not, then make sure that you start doing so, because if you don't do right by you, ain't nobody going to do right by you. So make sure that you take care of yourself and have yourself a great morning and a great day and a great week. On the broadcast right now, as always, every Monday morning in the first hour of the show, we have our guy, our Monday morning quarterback, and that is Marvin Graves. It is always an honor and a privilege to have Marvin on the show. Mr. Marvin Graves, how are we doing today?
I'm doing great, Dan. Doing great this morning. A little rainy, but it's a beautiful day. The Q's won this weekend, so it's all good.
And you're out in the D.C. area, right?
Yes.
So you got rain, we got rain, and we've gotten a lot of. See, I have to do that. I have to do the one final cut of the grass before it gets too cold and the grass isn't growing. So the thing is that one final cut I can't do because it's legitimately rained. What Syracuse people 7 out of the last 8 days. So it's like I can't get out there and cut anything right now, which I'm not, I just want it to be done. I'm the type of person that wants to cut my grass 4 times a year and be done with it. So,
I wish that could be the case, Dan, because I got to cut my own grass too, but I'm doing the same thing. I'm waiting for, it to dry up so I can just cut it one more time, and, it's not bad, but it's all good, man.
So we're here this morning. The Syracuse Orange are 7-2, and very close to have been 9-0 on the season. Just what you can say about this Syracuse team, what they've been doing. I mean, this has been a tremendous season so far. There's still more games to be played, but 7-2 around the country rings pretty nice, no matter who you are.
I mean, it's a great record. 7-2. You're just seeing what Babers has to offer as a head coach. So mostly this morning, we could talk X's and O's, but I think we really have to, even though the work is not done this year, but at this point in 3 years or almost 3 years, where the program has come, to be playing, be 7-2, and in the 10th game, you're playing meaningful football games at this point in time. So I think we really got to give a congratulations to the coaching staff as well as the players and the hard work that they put in, because, it's an exciting time for Syracuse football. So I think we really got to give them some of that credit and stand behind them for the last final push.
And Eric Dungy had said to the fans, he said, listen, it's going to be my last time in the Dome ever playing a game, so come out and let's pack the Loud House. He's asking the fans to do right by Syracuse. I don't feel like you should ever have to ask for that, but unfortunately, the last decade plus has kind of felt that way for Syracuse, that you have to ask the fans to come out. What do you want to say to the fans? Because to me, this is a no-brainer at this point. They should absolutely 100% be there.
Well, I applaud Dungy for saying that, because obviously he felt that he wanted that support. I don't think it was anything malicious in him doing that. You got to rally somewhere. And the only thing that I can say to the fans, like I said, I don't know everyone's financial situation, health situation, or things like that, but somehow, some way, the community and Syracuse University athletic department has to
bridge that gap, whether it's discounted tickets, whether we're giving the tickets away to the local boys club. I mean, that's an easy start right there. You know, get some of those kids that are in the inner city, you know, in the outskirts of Syracuse, a chance to come up on the university and have a chance to dream. So I don't think it's something that we're asking that's really can't happen. I just think, you know, we just got to be creative and make it happen.
Yeah, you know, and I 100%, you know, agree with that. You don't know everybody's situation, but you'd like to think that people could get themselves out to this game. It's the final home game of the season. It's on November 9th, this coming Friday at 7 p.m. And the thing is, it's not just a game, it's a celebration. It's an opportunity because Rob Drummond and myself bring you our pregame show for every home game at the Press Room Pub. So you can come to the Press Room Pub Friday night at 5 o'clock, come see our live show, come pregame with us, come celebrate with us, come have a great time with us. We had over 200 people there this last home game. So come out at 5 p.m. to the Press Room Pub on 220 Herald Place in historic Herald Square in downtown Syracuse. Hang out there at 5 o'clock, do the pregame show with us, get some drinks, get some food, obviously drink responsibly, and then head up to the Dome for the 7 p.m. kickoff. So you got the pregame show, you got the show at home, you got a Friday night lights type of game. So, you know, to me it's an awesome experience. It's a great way to finish off the home season for Syracuse, and I think it says a lot about where Syracuse is right now, that they were able to take care of business and that they're on a 3-game winning streak. They've had a 4-game winning streak and a 3-game winning streak, and, you know, they're looking to keep that going. They got some tough teams coming up after that, Notre Dame at Yankee Stadium and then at Boston College. So, you know, this is the last time the fans are going to see them in Syracuse this year. So I would think it's a no-brainer if 40,000 plus showed up for the last game against NC State. Then this one should definitely be a big one in the Dome, and I'd love to see, I think the sellout's 49,000 and some change, and I'd love to see that. So hopefully it works out.
Yeah, I think that's very well said, Darren.
So hopefully we can get y'all out there and make sure that I mean, folks, just do it. Just do it. Just make it happen. Do what you got to do and get yourself inside of the Carrier Dome. And at the very least, get yourself over to Press Room Pub and have some fun with us. So thoughts on going to Wake Forest. The last time they went there, Marvin, was a couple years ago. Rain-soaked field, mud all over the place. Syracuse ended up losing that game. I believe it was 23-9. So this time they took care of business. They did what they needed to do. They won 41-24. And were able to just, you know, put it together. Syracuse was down 10-0 early on and then took it back in the first quarter 14-10 and never looked back after that. So just what you could say about, you know, Syracuse taking that lead in the first quarter, later on in the first quarter, and then just building upon that lead from there. And obviously the defense did what it needed to do to throughout this game to give a separation of 17 points in the victory.
I mean, I just think it was a all-around, well-played game. You know, you got to give your opponent some credit. Those guys go out and practice and deal with the same things that we deal with in a different climate. So Wake Forest made some plays, but overall, again, I just think it was a great coaching job. I think the players played well, and the thing that I was most impressed about, from my standpoint of view, I thought that they managed the clock pretty well. And it was just a great win. It was one of those games where you can just, if you were at the game or, you know, watching the game, you just felt good that it wasn't going to come down to be a close one, and you saw Syracuse finish the football game. So it doesn't matter who it was against. I think Wake Forest is a pretty good football team, and you know, we went on the road and we finished the football game. So the time management, I thought, was pretty good. I thought the guys played hard, and I think they're still getting better, and that's the scary thing.
Well, and that's the thing about it is, you know, Syracuse, for everything that they've done right in their last couple seasons, you know, even though they had 4-8 and then 4-8 under Babers the last two, you know, the things that they had done right, there was obviously wrong that was going on, and one of those big things was being able to win on the road when they go on the road, and they were able to change that this time around. Just what you think about how important that is, that not only is the team 7-2, but They have now won a road game. They could put that under their belts. They were close at Clemson. They were close at Pittsburgh. They won the road game against Western Michigan, obviously, to begin the season. But typically inside of the ACC, they struggle to do that. And now, be it Wake Forest or whoever, they can sleep sweetly knowing that they were able to get a road win over one of the ACC teams and one of the teams inside of their division.
I think it's huge. Again, we struggled against Pitt, fell short against Clemson, and you have to grow. Like I said, sometimes those situations hurt, but you go through it and get better from it. And I think that we got better this past weekend in finishing that game, and it just gives you confidence going on the road to be able to win ball games. And I think our guys are learning how to do that. You gotta jump on people and take the crowd out. You gotta weather that storm, and then you gotta stick to the game plan and continue to make plays. And that's what they did this past weekend. So it's real important to be able to win on the road. It just builds confidence. And when you're on the road, you have some fans that travel. We do travel well. But, it's more about the team now. You don't have to worry about will call tickets and, your friends and other students that you hang out with can be sort of a distraction, so to say. So when you're on the road, it's just more about the team. And, to be able to win on the road it's a business trip. So when you go on the road and you complete your business, you feel good about the week's preparation.
Absolutely. Speaking here with Marvin Graves, our Monday morning quarterback, every Monday in the first hour of the show, right around 9:15 a.m. Eastern time, typically. And Marvin, to see what Eric Dungey, you being a former quarterback who donned the orange and blue for Syracuse, to see what Dungey's been doing. He is the career leader in passing yards ever in Syracuse history. He continues to set records at Syracuse, break records at Syracuse. Just what you could say about what he's been to this team and what he's brought forward, because he's going to be in the record books. And outside of that, obviously he's in the here and now, trying to make sure that he ends his final season in a kind of culminates his time at Syracuse in a big way. So just what you could say about Eric Dungey.
I think I'm proud of a guy that gets an opportunity to play at a Division I level. It really doesn't matter where, but when you're able to go to college and pay for your education, you do what you're supposed to do in the classroom and off the field. And then when you get an opportunity to play and be as durable as he's been throughout his career and to actually get better, it's just a proud moment. It's great to watch, when you're a part of it and you see a guy that's out there laying it on the line. I think that's the one thing I remember, more about Dungey than the records and things like that is just, the guy was a football player. He came to play. He's tough. He's a throwback. I'll leave it like that. He's a throwback type of player, and, those are the kind of guys you want to recruit.
And when you say that, he's a throwback, what about him makes you say that? How would you describe, what a throwback truly is?
Whatever it takes to win. He's a big kid, but if you look at him, you probably don't think he played quarterback. His style is unorthodox. He runs a lot, which, at the college level is okay, but then when they say you get to the NFL, you're not going to be able to do it. But, give me a guy that is a winner. He's a Tebow type of quarterback. He's just one of those guys, Cordell Stewart, just to go out there and do anything that the team asks him to do to win. And really doesn't care how it looks. He just has his own style and, just tough and gritty and selfless in achieving a win.
That coming from Marvin Graves speaking on Eric Dungey. Now, let me correct myself. Eric Dungey in total yardage leads Syracuse now with over 10,000 yards, and he did that against NC State. So in total yardage for a career, he leads Syracuse history. In passing yardage, he has 8,473, which moves him into the second place on the Syracuse all-time list passing Donovan McNabb, who had 8,316 passing yards, yourself, Marvin, who had 8,466, and Ryan Nassib's first with 9,190. So in this game against Wake Forest, how bittersweet is it for you that you were second all-time in career passing yardage, and now Eric Dungy has passed you by 7 yards at this point? How bittersweet is that?
It's more sweet than bitter. I didn't, when I embarked on my career at Syracuse, I had no idea what was going to happen. And to be sitting here today and my name actually still sit in the record books, that's something that I can share with my teammates that helped me achieve that, my coaching staff that helped me achieve those records. It's more sweet because, I'm about the kids that come through those Syracuse hallways and those classrooms to have a winning experience like I had at Syracuse. And, to see a guy, pass the record, it's sweet because it says where the program is going. It says that we're going in the right direction. And, records are made to be broken. I'm just happy to be mentioned in that same breath with Donovan McNabb and, the Dungies. And I was watching the game when Ryan Nassib passed me. I believe it was against Missouri, I think. So, those moments are more sweet to me than bitter.
And when you see something like that, when you, like you said, you see that your name is still up there, you see that, there's a lot of respect for that, and and then the article is just writing and recognizing you and Donovan and Ryan Nassib. Just what that means to you that when Eric achieves something like this, the article is written that he got here by passing these players, which obviously gives credence and gives a lot of respect to your name. Just what that does for you as you continue on with your life and are obviously removed from playing football now, just what that does for you to see that, not only did he set this record or is getting close to setting a new record, but that, your mention in this group and that the top 4 passing quarterbacks of all time includes Marvin Graves.
It feels great. It feels great to know that, my playing days, there's still memories that not only myself, like I said, my teammates can share. If you look through the record books or you're watching the game and you hear a record about to be broken and your name is mentioned, my center can say, hey, I blocked for that guy, or, he was a great guy. And I think, a lot of people sharing that, and I think that's the type of person I'm in. I'm all about community. I'm all about family. And, that's what I learned at Syracuse. So to still be mentioned in that capacity, it's not just about Marvin Graves, but, for me, it's about the people that can share it with me, that the memories of the people that helped me achieve that, whether it was a coaching staff, whether it was a friend on campus. It's just something that can be shared and talked about and bring back positive memories and good times. So it's very important to me because I know a lot of people sharing that.
And in having these, special moments that you have in your history, what is this Syracuse team doing? Does it remind you of any of your teams? Does it remind you of any of the seasons or anything that you've seen before? Can you build any parallels between this 7-2 team and maybe one of your teams or another team that was at Syracuse?
Scheme-wise, no. They're doing something totally different than, what I did at Syracuse. The parallel that I would draw is toughness. I think these guys are tough. I think they're prepared, which gives congratulations to the coaching staff, and it starts at the top. So I think these guys are guys that step on the field and expect to win every week, and they know it's not going to be pretty, but they never give up. They're tough, and that's the parallel. I think we were tough as a team. We were mentally tough, and that's what I see that Dino Babers has instilled in his coaching staff and his players.
How do you get a team to be mentally tough? How do you bring that forward? Like you said, your team was mentally tough. How do you get to that point where you can have that collectively?
Well, it depends on. It starts at the top. You have some athletes that they have it. Everybody brings a little something different to the table, but I think you build a tough organization at the top by being disciplined, by being organized, by having high expectations for your players that they probably think is not reachable, but they give you that extra push. So it's basically being disciplined, sticking to a process that someone's laid out for you, and actually getting to a point, where you're like 7-2 and you're winning, and you can see the process really, really works. So I think that's how you build toughness. It really happens off the field when people are really not watching.
And when you have that toughness and you have that ability, what have you seen in this team of the guys that have been here? The Eric Dungies and the Dante Stricklands and the Chris Slaytons and Antoine Cordy's and so on and so forth. The guys that have been through the trenches, been through the heartache, been through the pain, been through the coaching change. What are they showing you with this record and with the run that they're doing?
Well, number one, it shows me that the system is working. And again, it starts at the top. Number two, it shows me that the players are buying in to the system. And the most important thing is the confidence and the swag. Now that I understand the system, I understand what the head coach is expecting from me, now I can go out and play. We're prepared. So you see a swag, you see a confidence with this team. And, that's what I see. Those are the three things.
And when you see this team move forward, they have a few games left. What would be your advice to this team at 7-2? They have their final home game, Friday Night Lights, inside the Carrier Dome, but still it'll be that Friday Night Light feel because obviously it'll be dark outside by that time. So they have Louisville, then they're going to Yankee Stadium to face Notre Dame, and then from there they have at Boston College to finish off the regular season. What's your words of advice? What are your thoughts that you would like to impart on the team? If you were standing in the locker room right now, what would you say?
Continue to trust the process and stay hungry. You really have to move forward in a hungry manner. You can't be complacent. I think you just have to stay hungry. You have to stay aggressive, and I think you got to put your foot to the pedal and really press forward, because at 7-2, it's great. But I know that the diamond goals for this program is much bigger than this. So that means that we can't have a loss. We can't have a slow start against Louisville. Louisville is a struggling team right now. So you have to go out and play and show that you're getting better every week. So you have to stay hungry. And I think that would be the main message that I would send, is to never get complacent. Stay hungry.
That coming from our Monday morning quarterback, Marvin Graves, who played obviously at Syracuse and did some tremendous things while he was at Syracuse. One of the greatest quarterbacks, record-wise, numbers-wise, in Syracuse history. When you go back to the books, again, career passing yards, Eric Dungy, Ryan Nassib, Marvin Graves, and Donovan McNabb. And Marvin, number 2, who was just passed by Eric Dungy, who is now number 2 on the list, eyeing Ryan Nassib, who is number 1 in the record books in career passing yardage at Syracuse University. Before I let you go, Marvin, the team is ranked. They woke up this morning, and in the AP, they're number 13, and in the coaches poll, they're number 13. They are just outside of the top 10 nationally after not being ranked in both polls at the same time in 17 years. So last week they get ranked number 22 in the AP, number 24 in the coaches poll. Then the first ever college football playoff of this season comes out. They're ranked number 19, which shows the college football playoff respects the heck out of them and put them even higher. This morning in the AP, they're 13. They went up 9 spots. And in the coaches poll, they went up 11 spots to get to 13. They are just outside of the nation's top 10 after not being ranked for almost 2 decades. Thoughts?
Pay the man. That's my thoughts. I mean, come on, man. Come on. Like, these guys are working hard. They're playing hard. It hasn't been pretty, it hasn't been perfect, but look at the effort. Come on, pay the man. Like I didn't see that this morning. I mean, I'm even more excited now than I was when I woke up this morning. I didn't know that, but come on, they put Syracuse back on the map. And
I'm with you on that. I'm with you 150%. I said that that's what it's got to come down to. They got to pay him. They got to show him that they love him. They got to talk to him now. They got to clean it up now. I had Herm Frazier, the senior deputy athletics director of Syracuse, was on the show this past week. We spoke about that, and also had Floyd Little on the show. And Floyd said, when we originally brought him in and he got signed up, it was a 6-year deal. When they switched from Mark Coyle to John Wildhack, they didn't change that 6-year deal. But he said they need to bring him in the office and they need to ask him, what's it going to take to make you happy? And let's do that. And let's do that now. I think, and I said this, and I think Floyd said it too, that a win over Wake Forest on the road, you come home and you sit him in the office and you say, let's do this here. Let's do this now. Let's make sure we make it happen. You don't wait any longer. You don't give it any more time. You don't give anybody else time to get in touch with them, because whether it's collusion or not, whether you're supposed to or not, people are going to call him. People are going to text him. It's the reality of it all. They want a good coach. So, Floyd and I agree that Syracuse needs to lock it up and lock it up good, and they're going to have to open up the pocketbooks a little bit and stop pretending that they don't have any money and give the man, what he needs, because it's 13th in the nation, and Syracuse has fought since Pasqualoni days to get to a point where they could be here again. We're talking about Coach Mack. We're talking about the best years of Paul Pasqualoni. I was a child at that point. I was in elementary school and junior high. So, and now I'm a grown man who's been broadcasting for over 15 years. So I would say at this point that you sit him down, you do what I said, do what Floyd said, do what you said, and pay the man, give him what he needs, open up the pocketbooks. I don't know, have Kent Syverud, the chancellor, get a loan against his mortgage. Whatever you got to do to make it happen, but I don't think that there's any other option but to make it happen.
Absolutely. There is a way to make it happen. I don't have to see any financials to know that this can happen and that this can work. Come on, we're Syracuse University. We have a lot of smart people, a lot of creative people up there. But I'll tell you this: if Syracuse don't sign him and don't sign him soon, there's a lot of teams that are looking for head coaches. And I live in a city just outside of the city, Maryland University, and what they're going through, his name has come up. So I know if he came to Maryland University, what will happen with that program. So you need to sit him down. You need to come to an agreement, and we need to move forward. It's plain and simple, because I know that there's several teams out there right now that'll pay him.
Absolutely, and the University of Maryland, they have been looking for somebody for to fit this. The funny thing is, the three that were in the room, and Floyd and I were talking about this, were Scott Frost and DJ Durkin and Dino Babers. Now, DJ Durkin, we obviously know what happened with him and all the stuff around him, and the not so great situation. So if Syracuse had DJ Durkin, maybe that would have happened here. And then with Scott Frost, Floyd said, listen, I knew he was just using us. He wanted to come here to get to Nebraska. He wanted, wherever he was going, he was going to use it as a springboard to get back home to Nebraska, where he played football. And so Dino he was different. And that's what Floyd Little said. So you think about that. DJ Durkin fired. Scott Frost left. Dino Babers, 13th in the country nationally. So I would think, hindsight 2020, it looks like Syracuse made the right decision, and now it's time to take care of it, because now the Maryland job is open, and Maryland is like Syracuse, bottom feeder of their conference. Nobody really knows they're there, and they need a change, and they need something different, and they need something to be excited about, because there's juggernauts in their conference. It's painting the same picture. So it's Syracuse. Do you really want him to go and change another program, or do you want him to keep changing yours for the better? And you will not keep a coach in Syracuse that is successful unless you do what Jerry Maguire said and show him the money.
Show him the money, because Maryland has the money, and they will show it to him. And I believe we have the money. I believe we have the people in place that, like I said, can creatively sit down and make this work. I just think you got to look at it. We started, I don't know where we started outside of the top 25, but come on, man. You jump into the top 25 at 22, 24, and then you go on the road and win, and you're at 13 in both polls. It's a no-brainer. I don't understand.
No, and the thing about all of this is where they are. Like you said, they started off the season like 86 or 87, like somewhere very, 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 very far down the list. And when they could fall more toward 100 at times. But this is a team who was an afterthought. This is a team who nobody considered to be anything and wasn't going to be successful and finish last in the ACC Atlantic Division, 7 out of 7, and not really push anybody. Maybe beat Louisville because they're having a tumultuous season, and I saw the writing on the wall that they were going to have a little bit of a growing pain season without Lamar Jackson. But ultimately, who would have thunk that Syracuse was going to be 7-2 and to be where they are? So, I mean, it's all there. Syracuse has not been 4-0 to start the season since Mr. Marvin Graves in 1991. Syracuse 7-2 has the same record as some tremendous teams that are out there right now in the country. They have the same record as Kentucky. They have the same record as Boston College right now. They have a better record than Washington. They have a better record than Florida, Mississippi State. They have a better record than Penn State right now. So, they have the same record as LSU with Ed Ogeron. So, this is a team that you look at being ranked in the top 13 in the AP and the coaches poll. Then the college football playoff, when that comes out, they were higher in that than the other two. So does the college football playoff keep doing that and put them in the top 12 or top 11 or even the top 10 in the college football playoff poll? This is a team that has not been embarrassed in any of their 2 losses that they had. They went to overtime with Pittsburgh. They almost defeated Clemson, who hasn't lost in Death Valley since 2016. So all of these things are lining up. Then you have a quarterback like Eric Dungeon. You have a backup quarterback like Tommy DeVito. Then your defense is getting better. It's story after story after story, bullet point after bullet point. All signs point to whose house? Dino's house. So give the man a check and say, we love you to pieces, coach. We're going to get this locked up right now, because the only team that can negotiate with Dino Babers right now officially is Syracuse. So negotiate. Do what you got to do. Lock the man up. And let's build this thing for the future, as opposed to saying, oh, well, Syracuse finally got there, and now they're going to get a new head coach who's going to go all the way back to square one, and Syracuse fans are going to have to deal with yet another 3 to 5 year coach that's probably going to leave. You have to build longevity. You have to put your feet in the mud and just lock them in there and say, listen, I'm not moving, and that is what Syracuse needs to do right now.
I agree. And, I agree with you 100%. I'll say this. If you don't lock Dino Babers up long term, you will get another coach that's, you say 3 to 5, I think that's fair. But you set the program back another 10 years, at least a decade. So that's how serious this situation is. Like, Dino needs to be paid, and we need to move forward.
Amen to that. And it's as simple as that. Marvin Graves, Monday morning quarterback. We are in agreement. Pay the man. 7-2, 13th ranking in the AP and in the coaches poll. Syracuse has 3 games left. We already know they're going to have a winning season, because the worst they could be is 7-5. They want to be a hell of a lot better than that. I said going into the season, I was like, I don't know. I think maybe like 6-6 at best. Now, and then as the games went through, I said, listen, this is a team that can win 9 games this season. So let's see, in the regular season. So let's see what they could do. Let's see what they have. They have 3 games left. They're 7-2 at this point. And fans, make sure you show up to the Louisville game, and make sure you show up at 5 p.m. to the Press Room Pub and come and hang out with us. As always, Mr. Marvin Graves, it is my absolute pleasure and privilege to have you on the show, and I'm happy that I got to break the news to you about number 13 this morning.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. It's always a great time, and I'm just excited about it, and I do appreciate you having me on.
Absolutely. I'll talk with you soon, okay?
All right, take care. Bye-bye.
Take care. That coming once again from Marvin Graves, our Monday morning quarterback here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on WakeUpCallDT.com, your one-stop sports shop, and on MixLR.com/WakeUpCallDT. I got an idea now about a video that I'm going to put together, so just stay tuned for that on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and all the good stuff. We will be back in just a moment after this fast break with plenty more on the 200th episode of 2018 of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora.
This is a wake-up call fast break.
Gear up with the real deal at Dry Sig Apparel. creating what people are going to see and learn about you before they even meet you. Gear up for what you need for your team, business, or event. To look professional, look good, and feel good, outfit yourself at DreissigApparel.com. That's DREISSIG Apparel.com. The only place to gear up with the real deal. What's the universal language of a fan? Clapping your hands. With Fan Hands, the ultimate sports fan accessory, find your team color, slip them on, and start cheering on your favorite team with 11 different colors, always in stock on fanhands.com, where you'll find the ultimate sports fan accessory. Real fans wear Fan Hands.
Get Hilton quality service at the most affordable price at True by Hilton Camillus, located right next to Costco in Township 5. True by Hilton Camillus offers you their signature sport court where you can enjoy basketball, volleyball, pickleball, soccer, lacrosse, and more year-round in their indoor facility. For reservations and information, call 315-314-8676. That's 315-314-8676. True by Hilton Camillus. Hilton quality service at the most affordable price.
Utica Pizza Company spells family. Your family, my family, their family. The recipes that they have shared with each other throughout the years and have now been so gracious to share them with us. I can sit here and talk with you about all the great things that are on the menu, but we'd be here forever. So let me say this. Utica Pizza Company is second to none. And now you can bring it home with you and you can dine in the restaurant. UticaPizzaCompany.com will give you all the information that you need. And let me say, these Utica greens, they're the best. Utica Pizza Company. Call them and place your order at 315-214-3060. That's 315-214-3060. Families break bread at Utica Pizza Company.
Carvel DeWitt, it's what happy tastes like. Do you know why? Because we make ice cream. Creamy, rich, flavorful ice cream. Not yogurt or iced milk like some of our competitors. Ice cream. Fresh, by hand, daily. For the calorie conscious, we have something new for you. Our new Carvelite. Same great flavor, creaminess, and texture of our regular ice cream with only 35 calories an ounce. So whether you want an ice cream cake, flying saucer, dasher, carvalanche, hard or soft ice cream, we will satisfy your craving with our fresh, handmade regular or new Carvelite ice cream. Carvel DeWitt. It's what happy tastes like.
Clothing that will change with you without you having to change. DreisigLady.com, DREISSIG Lady.com. With the Bamboo line Relax Fit clothing as well as the Athletic Fit clothing, DreisigLady.com is fit for any woman, any time of the day, anywhere. Whatever you're doing, whatever your day commands of you, command yourself to feel comfortable in Dreisig Lady Apparel. DREISSIG Lady.com. For all the women out there, feel good in what you're wearing. And don't feel like you have to constantly change throughout the day. Whether you're a stay-at-home mom, a business owner, going for a jog, going for a meeting, or just relaxing at home, DreisigLady.com is the right fit for you. DREISSIG Lady.com.
This is Lawrence Papaleo, licensed real estate salesperson for Gilbo Realty. Call our home office at 315-752-9513, or better yet, call or text me directly at 315-748-2524.
Let me ask you a question, Lawrence. If I needed you to help me buy a house, find the right place, could you help me do that?
Joe, I'll help you find your dream home.
You don't ever say my name on the radio, never. If I needed to sell a house, could you help me go about that the right way?
Yes, I can.
How do they get a hold of you?
Call me directly at 315-748-2524.
But you also do the commercial property. So if I got a business, couple businesses, got to take one here, move it over there, do this, do that, are you going to help me buy and sell my commercial property also?
Yes, sir.
I like that. What's my name again?
I have no idea.
Absolutely, but they need to know your name, so give it one more time.
This is Lawrence Papaleo, licensed real estate salesperson for Gilbo Realty. My phone number is 315-748-2524.
Why don't you tell him your name one more time and that number so we can jot it down?
This is Lawrence Papaleo. Call me or text me directly at 315-748-2524.
News is spreading in historic Herald Square about Syracuse's favorite sports and entertainment venue, the Press Room Pub, with lots of room next to 450 parking spots. Wash down their delicious 9-ounce burger for $9.95 with a variety of New York State brewed beers. TVs abound all throughout the location, including their 90-inch monster. Watch your game, enjoy time with family, friends, as well as bringing the kids to the playroom. The SU Alumni Party for every away football game is making headlines, as well as Robert Drummond, Syracuse Football alum, and Dan Tortora's pregame show 2 hours before kickoff for every home game. Private parties available as well for as many as 300 people. Come circulate at the Press Room Pub, downtown Syracuse, and visit PressRoomPub.com right now for more information.
This is a wake-up call, fast break.
Having peace of mind when you're out of town that your furry-loving friend is safe and sound means taking them to Canine Campground, because we all know that when it comes to the love of our pets, it goes well beyond the call of duty to make sure they're safe and sound. Right, Lily? So take a ride to 242 Johnson Street in East Syracuse, New York, and see Canine Campground and where your dog will be staying in the classic cabin, the executive cabin, the grand cabin, or, of course, the luxury cabin. Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on WakeUpCallDT.com, your one-stop sports shop, and on MixLR.com/WakeUpCallDT. Thank you for your patience. Here on the 200th show of 2018, we are here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, and I appreciate you being here. I thank you so much for being here, and this is awesome. So it's awesome to have number 200 of this show, and I thank you. Thank you tremendously for all that you have that you've done to have 200 of 2018. That we're already there. That we've gotten there. We've achieved it. Every year we do over 200 shows, and it's crazy to me, because to say like, oh, I did my 200th show, or I did my 500th show, or whatever, that's pretty cool. But to say, hey, every year I do my 200th show and my 100th show, and everything that we get to do is so tremendous that I cannot help but be thankful to you for that and be happy for that. So, big ups to everybody that shows that love and that support, and that has been here with me from the get-go, or been here with me for a while. So I thank you so much for that, and I thank you for all of your time. And everything that you do, your time, your prayers, your well wishes. This show has definitely opened me up to a lot in this world, and it's made the world even smaller to me. And I love the fact that we have that, and that we have that connection. So thank you for that love, and thank you for everything that we're able to do. So thank you for all the support and all the love and all the appreciation. And as always, thank you for being a Wake Up Call listener, and for doing what you do with the broadcast. As always, it means a lot. On Facebook at Wake Up Call at DT, on Twitter at Call DT, on Instagram at WakeUpCall_DT. It's show number 200. We were trying to get my buddy Ross on this morning, but my little niece, my niche, as I call her, she is unfortunately not feeling very well. And she's in a place right now where, she's in the doctor's office right now to make sure that she's going to be okay. So my best to my little niche, Lorelei, that she feels better. And obviously we won't have Ross on the show this morning because of that. So my best to you, to Abby, and to little Lorelei, and we'll look forward to having Ross on the show at some point this week. So, I definitely look forward to having Ross on the broadcast. With that being said, Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora here this morning in show number 200 of 2018. The Orange are rolling. They're making it happen. They got 3 straight wins. Eric Dungy is taking care of business. The backup quarterback, Tommy DeVito, has won a couple games for the Orange this year. They've won on the road inside of the ACC. They have taken down a top 25 team in NC State. They've moved up the polls. They're ranked in the college football playoff poll. They're ranked in the AP. We're ranked in the coaches poll. 4-0 to start the season for the first time since Marvin Graves in 1991. Just a winning season this season for the first time since 2013. So it's just good on good on good on good on good. They have a 77.8% winning percentage, which is tremendous. If you put a 0 in front of it, that's how it had been in recent history. It was like a 7% winning percentage. So Syracuse definitely bringing something to upstate and central New York that these fans have not seen in a while. And the Syracuse fans all over the world. There are Syracuse fans everywhere. And that's the beauty of it all, is that that you literally exist in every nook and cranny that I've found in this world so far, and I think that is tremendous. It speaks volumes about the level of support that Syracuse gets from all over the world, and means a lot to me to put the city on my back and the city to put me on their back. So, and the thing that's great about this is I got my city right behind me. If I fall, they got me. That line from Macklemore, I was actually listening to that this morning, which is awesome and wonderful. So thank you to each and every single one of you for being a part of what Syracuse is doing in this football, whether you bought a ticket or you came out to our pregame show at the Press Room Pub, or you're coming out this Friday at 5 p.m. to 220 Herald Place and hanging out with us there. Just, this Syracuse, you bought a shirt, you bought a hat, you bought a jersey, whatever, you did, your season ticket holder for the last, 4 years, 10 years, 24 years, 48 years. So, it's really a wonderful, wonderful thing, and a beautiful, beautiful celebration for Syracuse football to get to this point. It's a great thing for Eric Dungy and Antoine Cordy. I want to go back to kind of the guys that have been around the block, and the guys that have been with this team, that have gone through the adversity, the seniors and the redshirt seniors and whatnot. We look at guys like Antoine Cordy and Jamal Custis, Aaron Roberts, Keaton Darney, Chris Slayton, Eric Dungy, Dante Strickland, Kylan Whitner, Tyrone Perkins, Kyle Kleinberg, Matt Keller, Cody Conway. These guys that have been with this program for such a long time, and see them go through everything that they've gone through. Chris Frederick, Sterling Hollifrichter, Shaheem Cullen, Evan Adams, Colin Byrne, Andreas Jurig, Jake Pickard. The ones that have been, through the fire. Rex Culpepper, Scoop Bradshaw. These guys that were recruited by Schaefer and his staff, that went through all the adversity of the last few seasons and went through the coaching change and got to where they are today is just tremendous. It is tremendous. And everybody, on the team obviously gets to enjoy 7-2 and enjoy what they're trying to do and stay focused toward what is to come and what they're looking to achieve. And then on top of all of that, these guys have been around the block and they have seen the ugly of the ugly. They have shown up to a fan base that maybe there's 22,000 people in the dome. They have gotten booed. They have dealt with adversity on top of adversity on top of adversity, and yet they have come through. And that celebration, all of these guys obviously get to celebrate. Mo Neal as well. All these guys get to celebrate what's been happening with this team. The entire team gets to. And then there's just kind of that little extra, that little, to Antoine and to Eric and to Dante and Kylan and Tyrone and Matt Keller and Cody and Andreas and Evan Adams and so on and so forth. These guys getting to see just a long, long road of darkness actually turn into some light, and it's not an 18-wheeler coming at you, but it's it's essentially that sun. It's going through the storm and then seeing the sun, and I just I love it. I love seeing it, and I love seeing this team succeed. It's a great thing to watch what Syracuse has done this season against all odds. And really nobody giving them a shot, nobody giving them an opportunity, nobody believing that they could, and they did it anyways. And, they expect the men's basketball team to be good, and when the women's basketball team's good, some people pay attention, but they still don't get enough respect. And then with the football team, it was just like, whatever. And if football team loses a game, when's basketball season? Football team loses 2 games, when's basketball season? Football team beats Clemson, but then loses a few in a row, when's basketball season? And I haven't seen anybody write when's basketball season this season, which actually makes me feel really good. That, for once, that's not something that we had to see in the grand scheme of things, which is the beauty of this all. And I'm definitely happy that is what we have at this point. That fans weren't just looking ahead and weren't just over it, so to speak. So, it's good to see the fans get behind this team. It's good to see this team get behind themselves more than anything. And now, it's time for Syracuse to continue the road that they've been on and continue the success that they've had and make sure that they lock up Dino, as Tim just wrote on Facebook in response to one of the posts I put up. He put #PayDino. And that's, really the conversation that you and I have been having for a while now, for the last couple weeks at least, that they have to lock up Dino Babers and make sure that they take care of what they need to take care of, because it is time to set Syracuse up for the future. You wanted to test it out and see if Dino was going to work. Well, it did. It has. So you're at the beginning of what could be something special. You got to lock it up. If you like it, then you should have put a ring on it. So do that. Tell Dino that that's the only person you're taking to the dance, and you don't want anybody else, and you don't want to see Dino with anybody else at the dance because it would break your heart. So do what you got to do to make it happen. Syracuse's facilities have gotten better. There's finally statues for Jim Brown, Floyd Little, and Ernie Davis, and Ben Schwartzwalder, and so on and so forth. There's the honoring of Coach Mack. The football wing at Syracuse has gotten prettier and prettier, and things have gotten a lot nicer. The auditorium where they speak to the players has gotten nicer and nicer, and just looks really cool. And the seats have gotten better, and the pictures on the wall, and the conversations, I'm sure. So many things have gotten better with Syracuse football. The dome is getting its renovations going and whatnot. They're building all this stuff up around the dome. They're improving the housing. They're building more places. They're building more areas for kids to move into and live, and trying to expand the student base of Syracuse University. So this is a time where you have to take care of it. If you get rid of Dino, it is like sucking the life out of Syracuse. It's taking everything good that these fans have waited for way too long and stripping them from it all. It's taking almost 2 decades of pain and giving them a little drop of happiness, and then as that drop's about to hit their tongue, you smack it away. So you can't do that. You can't do that. You got to take care of it. You got to pay Dino, and I think the conversation has to start at 3 and then go from there. Hey, we'll give you 3. Because I don't think you're going to get away with saying, hey, Dino, we'll give you 2.5. Hey, we'll give you 2.8. Hey, well, we'll give you 1.7. I don't think any of those conversations are going to work anymore. Dino knows what he's doing. This football program knows what it's doing. And if you want to keep recruiting the way that you're recruiting, and you want things to keep moving forward in the direction that you want them to move, then you have to take care of business. If you want what you want to continue, then you have to pay the man. You got to treat him right. With that being said, let's take a step aside. We'll come back and finish off the show in just a little bit.
This is a wake-up call fast break.
Having peace of mind when you're out of town that your furry-loving friend is safe and sound means taking them to Canine Campground.
because we all know that when it comes to the love of our pets, it goes well beyond the call of duty to make sure they're safe and sound. Right, Lily? So take a ride to 242 Johnson Street in East Syracuse, New York, and see Canine Campground and where your dog will be staying, in the classic cabin, the executive cabin, the grand cabin, or of course the luxury cabin, because if you know Lily, you know she loves luxury. Now you don't have to wait to the last minute to find a family member or a friend that'll take your dog for a few days. Call Canine Campground at 315-299-4013. That's 315-299-4013. Their drop-off and pickup times are Monday through Sunday. Check K9campground.com for more information. That's the letter K, the number 9, and campground spelled with a K.com. K9campground.com.
When you're going out of town, bring your dog to Canine Campground.
Consistency is, well, consistently hard to find, unless you head to 119 East 2nd Street in East Syracuse, New York, the home of the Pen and Trophy Center, who has been serving us Central and Upstate New Yorkers, as well as beyond, for decades. The Pen and Trophy Center on 119 East 2nd Street in East Syracuse, New York, gives you an amazing and unique way to customize a memory today. Say it with the Pen and Trophy Center. Be it an Employee of the Month award, a sports award, something for your business, engraving for your family, your loved ones, anniversaries, birthday parties, and so much more, including remembering somebody who served in the military. Say it with the Pen and Trophy Center. 119 East 2nd Street in East Syracuse, New York. The definition of consistency is pen and trophy. Browse their products on penandtrophy.com. That's penandtrophy.com, and call them for more information at 315-422-8797. That's 315-422-8797. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is located on 3680 Milton Avenue in the Home Depot Plaza. It is your family-friendly sports bar and restaurant. Folks, some sports bars aren't family-friendly. Some family-friendly restaurants are not sports bars. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is proud to be both. It is that marriage that you've been looking for years. The Wildcat Sports Pub is your home base for your sports bar and restaurant needs, games for the kids, indoor and outdoor activities, and enough things on the menu to come back every single week and get to try something new. They're open Sundays from noon to 8 p.m., Monday through Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to midnight. For reservations and party information, call 315-487-2222 for the Wildcat family-friendly sports pub and restaurant.
Get Hilton quality service at the most affordable price at True by Hilton Camillus, located right next to Costco in Township 5. True by Hilton Camillus offers you their signature Top It breakfast bar with over 30 different toppings to personalize the most important meal of the day. All complimentary with your stay. For reservations and information, call 315-314-8676. That's 315-314-8676. True by Hilton Camillus. Hilton quality service at the most affordable price.
Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on WakeUpCallDT.com, your one-stop sports shop, and on MixLR.com/WakeUpCallDT. Always proud to be here with you every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time on MixLR.com/WakeUpCallDT, which is the live feed, and you can pick up the live feed by going to WakeUpCallDT.com's homepage right now, and you can click to listen right there at the top of the home page. And on WakeUpCallDT.com, you'll find it all. You'll find all the companies that we're proud to partner with. You'll also find the on-demand portal where you can listen to the RSS feed, the iTunes podcast, Podbean podcast, TuneIn Radio to get the archive of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora shows. You can go directly to wakeupcalldt.podbean.com, or if you scroll down to the bottom of the homepage
on WakeUpCallDT.com. You can click on the Podbean archive there that has over 1,000 shows. It's your biggest portal of archive shows for Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. We have quick links to Syracuse football, basketball, Jacksonville Jaguars, fantasy football, and so much more. The last 10 shows that have been uploaded to the archive are there for you as well. And Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, all that's there. And, of course, all the pages that you need to learn more about the companies that we work with on the Central New York tab. The Right Now page with articles on Syracuse and so much more, and so on and so forth. So plenty for you to enjoy. Videos on there as well. And so definitely check out WakeUpCallDT.com. Become a member for free. Bookmark it. Subscribe. Do what you got to do to connect yourself to the best place for you where sports meets life. This is our 200th show of 2018, and I'm pumped for this, very excited for it. We got a couple more special guests coming up on the broadcast in just a few moments, but before we go there, I want to go back to Syracuse being ranked in the top 13. Now, Syracuse rose 9 spots in the AP, which was more than any other team. They rose 11 spots in the coaches poll, which tied Boston College, who is right behind Syracuse, at 14 in the coaches poll. They're 17 in the AP. So Syracuse is the highest moving team. They've moved the farthest up in the AP, and they've tied Boston College to move the farthest up in the coaches poll, which is pretty tremendous and pretty awesome and pretty cool, if you ask me, to see Syracuse be the team that not only has risen in both polls and in both polls, but nobody's risen higher than Syracuse in the AP, and they've tied Boston College to rise 11 spots in the coaches poll today. Still at number 1 is Alabama. Alabama received all 60 of the Associated Press's votes for first place. In the coaches poll, Clemson got 1 vote. Dabo Sweeney, I know it was you. I'm kidding. And Alabama got 63 of the 64 votes. Notre Dame stays inside of the top 4. Notre Dame is now number 3. There's only 4 undefeated teams that are inside of the top 25, and that is Alabama at 9-0, Clemson at 9-0, Notre Dame at 9-0, and UCF at 8-0. So that is where everything stands with that. UCF is number 11 in both polls because neither the press nor the coaches think that UCF deserves to be in the top 10, and they won't put them in the top 10 until the end of the season if they stay undefeated. The funny thing is they dropped 2 spots after winning another game. So, UCF just continues to not get the respect, even though they've been undefeated. And granted, okay, the AAC is a little bit down this year. The competition is down. There's not so many teams ranked in the top 25 and yada, yada, yada. But Houston's really good, and South Florida's still got some good things going on, even though Tulane took them down. And Temple's been playing spoiler and almost spoiler this season. So there's a lot of good to be said about the AAC, but ultimately they're not regarded in high standing with the coaches or the Associated Press, hence why UCF is still outside of the top 10 at 11 in both polls. Alabama 1, Clemson 2, Notre Dame 3. LSU has dropped out of the top 4 in both the AP and the coaches poll after losing to Alabama. They dropped from they dropped from where they were last week. In Week 10 of college football, they were number 3 they were number 3 in the AP, and then they were let's see what we have here. So the college football playoff had them at number 3. They were number 3 in the AP, and in the coaches poll, they were number 4. So to be 3 in both and then 4, and now LSU is no longer sitting there. LSU has fallen outside of the top 4, and LSU is now the college football playoff ranker will come out shortly. But as of right now, the AP has them from 3 to 9. The coaches have them from 4 to 10. So they have almost fallen out of the top 10 after losing to Alabama, who's the best team in the country. I don't know if that should have happened. I don't know if I really truly agree with that, but LSU now has 2 losses, so that part of it makes sense. So now if they had 1 loss, I don't think they would have dropped as far, but because they have 2 losses, Ohio State has 1, West Virginia, Oklahoma, Georgia, and Michigan all have 1 loss, which Michigan has been regarded to be a little bit better, and Michigan was 5th in both the AP and the coaches poll last week, so they have now moved into 4th. We'll see where the college football playoff has them, but as of right now, if the college football playoff were to happen today, and we were basing it on these rankings, it would be Alabama, Clemson, Notre Dame, Michigan. Alabama would play Michigan, Clemson would play Notre Dame. So pretty awesome and pretty interesting how people wanted to fire Jim Harbaugh after losing to Notre Dame in the first game of the season, and they've been on an 8-game winning streak since. And Michigan really looking the best. Ohio State has 1 loss, so they still have a shot. If Michigan and Ohio State do not lose, they'll be in a situation where they will play each other at the end of the regular season, and that game may decide who gets into the college football playoff from there. Now, granted, there's going to be a Big Ten championship game, but I'm looking at Michigan at 4, and I'm looking at Ohio State at 8 in the AP, and then Michigan at 4 and Ohio State at 7 in the coaches poll. And I would imagine that Michigan and Ohio State might trade spots if they both keep winning and then face each other, whoever wins that game, that Ohio State still has a striking chance. West Virginia and Oklahoma have a chance, but I think the better chances go to the teams like Georgia, Michigan, and Ohio State. More defense, more in the trenches, where Oklahoma and West Virginia, it's not bad, but they're going to put 50 out there or 40 out there, and they'll score some points. And, people want to see Will Grier of West Virginia make it in there. But ultimately, I think it would be, not that it would happen because they're not going to be able to play each other as it stands right now, but if Notre Dame got to play Michigan again inside of the college football playoff. But as of right now, you can't argue with Alabama, Clemson, and Notre Dame because they're all undefeated. And then Michigan is that team that's got a slight edge right now. But like I said, if Georgia beats Kentucky, who is ranked 9th, they're going to bounce out, and Georgia's going to shoot up, and they did. They're 5th. And then Oklahoma, West Virginia, Ohio State. LSU still in the mix, and Washington State I don't think is going to make it in, but they are 10th in the AP, and they're 9th in the coaches poll. So we'll see where it goes from there. We'll take a quick step aside here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. We are celebrating our 200th show of 2018, and I am so excited that we are at number 200 of 2018. We do over 200 shows every single year, and I love doing it. So we'll take a step aside. We'll come back with a couple more special guests for today in just a moment.
This is a wake-up call fast break.
Utica Pizza Company spells family. Your family, my family, their family. The recipes that they have shared with each other throughout the years and have now been so gracious to share them with us. I can sit here and talk with you about all the great things that are on the menu, but we'd be here forever. So let me say this. Utica Pizza Company is second to none. And now you can bring it home with you and you can dine in the restaurant. UticaPizzaCompany.com will give you all the information that you need. And let me say, these Utica greens, they're the best. Utica Pizza Company. Call them and place your order at 315-214-3060. That's 315-214-3060. Families break bread at Utica Pizza Company.
We're back here in the 200th show of 2018, and another special voice, a special guest on the broadcast, and that is Marc Jones. Marc Jones heads up Dry Sig Apparel, Dry Sig Lady, Fan Hands. You can check them all out on WakeUpCallDT.com. They've been there for, I believe, over 5-6 years now. DREISSIG, which means 30 in German, which is the number that Mark wore there, hence the way that when you see the logo, you can see the 3 and the 0 for Dry Sig Apparel and Dry Sig Lady. And then fanhands.com, the ultimate sports fan accessory. You go and check that out. We've worked together for a long time, but more importantly than that, I found a brother in this, and I grew up an only child, and somehow now I have a bunch of siblings, Mark's being one of those. So I asked Mark to be on the show today to celebrate number 200. Mark, how we doing?
Good, Dan. I appreciate you having me on, man, and I'm so excited to be a part of your 200th show today, so I'm very, very proud of you.
And I appreciate that. And, there's over 1,000 plus that have been done. I mean, we're talking 15 plus years of doing this, but every year we hit 100 and 200 and keep moving from there. So every year adding a bunch of shows. Just what I'm going to leave it open-ended. I don't want to load a question, but just what you can say about, working with me professionally, personally, just anything you want to impart on the show today.
Absolutely. I appreciate it, Dan, again, having me on the show, this special 200th edition. And, professionally, business-wise, obviously we do this because it's a business opportunity between your show and then also my companies and my businesses. And, to keep it real, you've been very professional. You've been very unique in what you're doing for a show, and that's why I wanted to be a part of it, both Dreisig and Van Hands. You handle your business. You do exactly what you're supposed to do. You just make things happen or whatever in a positive way. And those are the type of people that I want to deal with my companies, not just in the past and in the present, but also moving forward in the future. So, but it's been good. And again, like you said, I came into your life when we came into each other's lives and through an introduction, and we never probably knew that it would probably enhance our lives together of having that camaraderie and that brotherhood that we've had here for years and years and years. So I'm looking forward to it, buddy. I'm always a part of, your family. You're a part of my family, and it's a great thing when two great people can come together.
Yeah, and two great people that always know how to lift each other up. And there's a statement that you say, and Rob said it to me. And he was like, "Make it happen," and I said, "No, you got to say it how Marc Jones says it. You got to go, make it happen, man."
You got to make it happen, man. You got to make it happen. So that's a good thing, man, and that's my motto, Dan. You know what? Every time I have our weekly staff meetings and on Tuesday mornings, and then also when I'm just talking to my staff and people that are close to me in collaboration and partnerships with my businesses, I tell them all the time, and when I'm finishing up those meetings, listen, let's make it happen. You got to make it happen. Whatever it takes to get there, to get it done, let's do it. Let's make it happen.
Speaking here with Marc Jones here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora's 200th show of 2018 alone. Marc, before I let you go, just what you can say about, your story and your road, because you've been such an inspiration to me. You've been somebody that has always, found a way to kind of pick me up in the mud and get me out of the quicksand and get me out of the rain, so to speak. So just to speak on, your story, your strength, your determination, because not only have you helped yourself, but you've helped out a lot of people, and, you can even include the Willow Street Foundation in that respect as well.
Yeah, you know what, Dan? I think for me it's been a journey, and I'm still on that journey. I started my companies, about 19 years ago. And I've been an entrepreneur for a very long time. But I think the most important thing for me that I try to get out to all entrepreneurs, to all people, and just people in general, is try to take some aspects of what really, truly happened from my football career. Grew up having sports and being a part of sports my whole entire life, but I excelled in football. And one thing that I do is I try to apply those football learning skills that I've had in real world today, because those are going to last you forever. Football is not going to last forever. And it's really just being positive and motivating and trying to motivate people to say, listen, don't give up on your dreams. Always have that passion. Be dedicated. Have that determination to go ahead and move forward and get through the obstacles, and have that desire, have that heart that's going to go ahead and really, truly, reinforce what you're doing and keep that passion going. So, dedication, determination, the desire, those are three key words that I use every single day in my life. I learned them on the football field, and then I transferred them over into my everyday life. And those are the three key words that I try to just tell everybody out there. Apply those three words, and you'll make it happen. And then even with the foundation, I'm always about giving back. So my Willow Street Foundation, we've been helping out and giving community grants and scholarships in Central New York to well-deserving students, and then also after-school programs that are dedicated to education, dedicated to learning and teaching the youth of today to make a better future for them and for them tomorrow. So, and that it all applies. And that's what my life is. Just want to go ahead and I want to see a better America. I want to see people do better. I want to see people getting along together and helping each other out. And that's where we can go ahead and have a great future as America. And that's where we stand.
That coming from Marc Jones, Dreisig Apparel, Dreisig Lady, Dreisig Athletic, fanhands.com. Check it all out, and you can also go and see their location right on Teal Ave, right by Shop City. And Marc, I'm right there with you. Doing good things, positivity, positive reinforcement, faith, God, love, togetherness, equality, support, all of that goes hand in hand. A lot of comedy, a lot of laughing, and just being good to each other. So I got nothing but love for you and nothing but great things to say to you, and you know how I feel. So thank you for all that you're doing, and thank you to everybody that's thank to the road that got us to where we were, because we crossed paths like 2 weeks after I had moved back to Syracuse, and one of the best things that ever happened. So Marc Jones, you know who you are to me, and I appreciate you tremendously.
Oh, you know what, Dan, thanks so much. I appreciate it. And again, man, I just want to say we're always there for each other. I'm always there for you. And I'm so excited and passionate and happy that, you're celebrating your 200th show, man. I'm proud of you. Keep it rolling, and let's keep it, to 300, 400, 500, and more.
Absolutely. So it's 200 of just this year, and we are well in the thousands from there, and this is... I got to go back and count them all, Mark, because I might be overall at show 2,213 right now. Don't even know it. So I got to do some research in my library and go count it now. But
yeah, well, you got to do that, Dan. Come on now, you got to do that. You got to keep track of it. But and I think if you keep on doing what you're doing, you're right on the right path, man. And one thing is just keep on plugging away, keep on doing it. You're making a lot of lives better just with your broadcast, and I love it, man. You put smiles on people's faces, and you're making people think. Your guests that you have on your show as well. Again, you want to try to interact, you want to try to introduce people and try to connect the world together through your broadcast, and that's what I love, man. You're doing it in a positive way as well.
That coming from Marc Jones. All right, brother. I'll talk with you soon. Go make it happen, man.
Yep. I'm going to make it happen. Matter of fact, I'm right here in the middle of a trade show. I took time out to do the show because I'm here in the middle of a trade show down here in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. So, but go Dan, let's make it happen. And then again, congratulations on the 200th show.
All right, man. I'll talk with you soon. Okay.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Take care. That coming from Marc Jones once again, and got nothing but love for Marc Jones and much appreciation for Marc being on the broadcast. And we have one more voice that many of you who listen into the show every single week on Thursdays, you know this voice and you know this person. You know that they are no stranger to the broadcast. Good morning to Papa J, to Papa Joe. We're on the broadcast. This is number 200 of 2018. This is not 200 overall. Like I said, I got to go back and count my shows because I'm somewhere in the thousands, maybe 2,000s. I've been doing this for a very long time. I gotta get the math right and the math correct. But we do over 200 shows per year, and we have hit number 200 of 2018. And Papa J, I had to have him on the show. He's a father to me and a great person in my life. So Papa Joe, we're celebrating number 200 of this year. What do you think about it? Oh, I think we lost him. Did we lose him? Papa Joe, can you hear us? We may have lost Papa Joe. So let's bring Papa Joe. That's live radio. Let's bring Papa Joe back onto the fray with us and see if we can get him. So Papa Joe, we got you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. So I said celebrating number 200 of just this year. Over 1,000 shows have been done altogether. We're at number 200 of 2018, and I couldn't have the show without you, without your voice, and to have you here because you've been a dad to me and a great person in my life. So I wanted to have you here for Happy 200.
Well, thank you, David. Daniel, I think you've risen to the very top of what you do, and I think the nation finally can understand what a good voice you are. And if they're smart, they'd hook up with some internet radio and listen to you.
And I definitely, appreciate that and appreciate the love. And just to speak on, you and I would sit at the table and we would have these conversations and they would make me think and they make me go research and they make me watch another game that maybe I wasn't going to watch. And, I was doing all these things that, after talking with you, I didn't know I could get any more excited than I got, and then I would get more excited talking with you, and then I said, let's make it a segment. Let's make it a part of my broadcast. I don't know anybody who has their family members come onto the show and give their thoughts, but I couldn't think of a better person to put on. And so just what you can say about making that a reality and being on the show every Thursday.
Well, it's fun. I mean, I know you have a broad, diverse knowledge of everything, sports-related wise, but sometimes a different viewpoint is better and a different opinion. So therefore, you wind up debating a little bit and you talk a little bit. So it's a lot of fun, and people can get educated. I know Mary, for one, has learned an awful lot about baseball since we've had the series and stuff on, as well as my sister-in-law Linda too. They listen to us, my brother-in-law Bruce, and myself, and they seem to learn. They pick up things by osmosis, you know. So it's good to have more than one opinion.
Absolutely, and it's good to have you on the show and share this, and just what you can say about, I kind of want to leave it open-ended, but your relationship with me, what you've, seen from the work that I've done here, just your thoughts, to kind of just leave that open to you as we celebrate number 200 of this year.
Well, I love you dearly, of course, and you're very organized. I realized that much when I went to visit your little expo this summer. You have an excellent sense of organization about you. You articulate very well. You're very caring. So, you wrap all those things together and you got yourself a successful person, Daniel, and that's what you are.
That coming from Papa Joe. Papa J. Every Thursday, Papa Joe's Picks College Football Talk happens Thursday on Wake Up Call exclusively at 9 a.m. Eastern Time to start the show. Papa Joe, I want to take this time to thank you, because what you have done and what you have brought forward, in my life personally, professionally, overall. Like I said, you've been a dad to me. You've helped me to navigate a lot of storms that are here now, storms that were here, storms that will be here. And I can't thank you and Mary enough for being the people that you are, to always, sit around the table and want to know about my life and want to help. And, they don't make them like you guys anymore.
Oh, well, thank you for that, Dan. Mary's a very special person. So she enjoys talking to you also, as well as I do. And, you realize you're going to have some pitfalls in your career and some stumbling blocks here or there personally. So, it's what you are as a man that allows you to circumvent these and overcome them. So I know that's what you'll do.
That coming from Papa Joe here on the 200th show of 2018. Papa J, we'll talk with you on Thursday, and as always, thank you for everything.
Okay, kid. See you later.
All right, take care. That coming from Papa Joe. So the special voice is the special guest that were on today's show to celebrate number 200 with me, Marc Jones, Papa Joe, my mom, and my dad on the broadcast, and of course Marvin Graves, who's with us every single Monday. We typically have On the Prowl in the second hour of the Monday show, but the Jaguars were off, and hopefully we'll stop the bleeding a little bit, so we don't have to worry about that moving forward. But as always, thank you so much for what you all do. I can't say enough about this being number 200 of 2018. In 2 years' time, we get halfway to 1,000, pretty much. And I just don't even know what to say. I mean, I look back and I say, okay, you know what, let's figure out the math right now. I'm going to do the math right now. So I was down, okay, so I was in Scranton for a year and a half. Okay, so let's do that. So let's say that's 78 shows. And because I did 1 day a week there, and then I came back here for a couple months. So let's say, what is 3 months' time? So 3 months is doing it once a week. So let's figure that out. So I did this wrong. I did it wrong. So okay. So there's 52 weeks in a year, and then there's half a year. Okay. So then that's 78, and then that one's saying, okay, so then there's 4. So then let's say I did 20 shows when I came back here, so that's 98. And then let's say when I went down there, I did a show for that, and then we had that together. So that's 98, and then that's 162. And then I came back here and did them for a year or so, so we'll do that, which is 222. And so that's 222, and then let's say I do like 240 and 24, so that's 222. And yeah, so we're over 700 shows overall of the Dan Tortora show, which became Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. So we're over 700 shows. And I think we actually hit 800 recently. I got to do my math and make. That's my job for tomorrow, is to tell you exactly where we're at. And I will do it, because when I say I'll do something, I'm actually going to do it. And I appreciate all of your support and all of your love to help us get to where we are today. Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora is more special to me because it's special to you. So it will always be something I love. It will always be something I appreciate. And when it comes to sharing it with great people like those of you that listen in and watch and read and interact on Facebook at Wake Up Call DT and Twitter at Call DT and Instagram at Wake Up Call _DT. Everything that you all do is tremendous. It's wonderful. It's beautiful. It's loving. It's caring. It's honest. And I can't thank you enough for it. So God bless to each and every single one of you. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your appreciation. Thank you for your time. And thank you for today. Number 200 of 2018. Thanks to my mom. Thanks to my dad. Thanks to Papa Joe. Thanks to Marc Jones. Thanks to Marvin Graves, and thank you to God most importantly and above all things. There is nothing I can do without God. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil, for thou art with me. Have a great day, folks. I will be back on Election Day, Tuesday, November 6th. Maybe we'll be joined by the president in some way. It's going to be totally great. Everybody's going to love it. I'm not running, but, I am running this morning while I'm listening to the show, but I'm not running this year. Okay, I'm running in 2020. Thank you. So maybe we'll hear something tomorrow on Election Day. Tuesday, November 6th. Can't believe it's already Election Day, and we're going to have the ingredients to success, probably brought to you by Utica Pizza Company, and it's a Utica thing, and so much more coming up on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora this week. Get ready, get pumped, get set. It's going to be awesome. And we're going to have my interviews with the Syracuse Orange as they step into the first game of the season that's going to count. You will hear from O'Shea Brissett. You will also hear from assistant coach Alan Griffin. You will hear from, I want to make sure I remember, Buddy Boeheim will also be on the broadcast. And I'm ecstatic. You're going to hear from Robert Braswell as well. So a bunch of voices from Syracuse Orange men's basketball tomorrow morning, and their first official game of the season that counts is tomorrow night. So I'll get you ready for the game by letting you hear from the team a few hours before the game. All that's coming up and so much more tomorrow. God bless. In the meantime, Facebook at WakeUpCallDT, Twitter at CallDT, Instagram at WakeUpCall_DT, DT, apparently, at WakeUpCall_DT, and got a little bit country. Just go right over there to DT. So you can get that and hook 'em horns and roll tide. So WakeUpCallDT.com. Check it out, and I'll talk with you tomorrow morning. Happy 200 to God, and happy 200 to my grandfathers, my grandmas, my dogs, to Lily, to all my friends, to all my family, whether you're blood or not, to all the people that love me, and to all the positive people, which are the only ones I'm concerned with. Shout out to each and every one of you. Happy 200. You helped me get here, and yeah, so happy 200 to God. And God bless you all. Talk with you soon.